Well, the walls are closing in, and Donald Trump is letting Ghislaine Maxwell out of the prison she was in, sending her to a better facility. This does not happen without involvement and authorization from high up. Let me explain to you what's going on. Ghislaine Maxwell, convicted sex trafficker, longtime associate of Jeffrey Epstein, key to some of the darkest secrets in American politics right now, has been transferred from a secure federal prison in Florida to a minimum security camp in Texas. It happened right after a 2-day private meeting with one of Trump's top Justice Department officials, Todd Blanche. Blanche used to be Trump's personal lawyer. Now he's deputy AG. You don't need a conspiracy theory when the facts tell you what's going on. The Bureau of Prisons has rules. One of those rules is sex offenders aren't supposed to go to minimum security facilities. But Ghislaine Maxwell is now living in what is kind of like a glorified dorm room. It's the kind of place white-collar criminals dream of. Red roof buildings and grassy yards and limited fencing. And the timing is just perfect for her. Her relocation comes days after the DOJ confirmed Trump's own name appears in the Epstein files. We learned that Trump had been briefed on that. That is not proof of guilt, but it is proof of fear for Donald Trump. This is the Trump who told his followers, I'm going to expose the pedophiles. We're going to get these child sex traffickers. This is the Save the Children movement that was obsessed with Trump. But now anytime Epstein's name is brought up, Trump lashes out and he goes, why are you talking about that? Don't talk about Epstein. Talk about Obama instead. Trump's implicated. Todd Blanche goes to talk to her. And next thing you know, Ghislaine gets a cushy downgrade in the sense of lower security. And the victims, they found out the same way we did from the press. And they weren't told, by the way, Ghislaine is going. No, they find out in the news media that after meeting with Trump's deputy AG, she's going to a cushier facility. So there is no ambiguity here about what's going on. Trump's DOJ meets with her. She reportedly talks about 100 different people. We don't know who. Are they victims, co-conspirators? We just don't know. And then next thing you know, she's moving on down to a lower security, cushier facility. What we do know is she wants a deal of some kind. Clemency is being talked about. Trump talks about, I have the right to pardon her, but I know nothing about it. But the critical and incredible part of this is that the federal prison system doesn't just accidentally put sex offenders in minimum security camps. You need paperwork, you need overrides, you need sign-offs. Prison consultants have spoken out recently and said, listen, our job is place the people we work with in better prisons. We have never seen this happen with a sex offender. Technically, Ghislaine Maxwell wasn't even eligible for this transfer, meaning she needed a waiver, meaning someone signed a waiver, maybe multiple someones made conscious decisions. Let's bend the rules. The obvious question is why? And more importantly, for whom? For whose benefit? So this is not prison reform. She doesn't really need to be in the floor. This is protection, and it's protection of Donald Trump. The closer the Epstein files get to Trump, the better life gets for Ghislaine Maxwell. So when people start doing the both sides thing, remember, we were told Trump would be the hardest hardcore guy against these child sex trafficking rings and transparency we're going to get. There's one side letting a convicted sex trafficker cut some kind of a deal in secret and end up 2 days later in a lower security prison. And what's forthcoming, we don't even know. It might be clemency. It might be a pardon. We know Trump's name is in the Epstein files. We don't know as what. Is he a contact of Epstein, a client? What is he? The DOJ attempts to bury further disclosures. Ghislaine gets a private meeting, and suddenly she's floating away from Florida over to minimum security in Texas. Victims get no answers. And you can say the timing is a coincidence, but who could possibly believe that? Even 50% of Republicans believe that Trump is covering up the truth about Epstein. So we're going to follow it very closely. There were some legal analyses that it would be better for Maxwell to get clemency rather than a pardon. And there are some technical reasons regarding pleading the fifth and other things, that's beyond the scope of this discussion. But it is very clear there is a lot of action here. We know Trump's in the files. Reporting is that Trump's terrified. And the movement of Maxwell does not give me confidence that we are going to see justice done here. Most likely scenario, I still believe the most likely scenario is Ghislaine does her big tell-all, but lo and behold, Trump's not a player. And then she gets rewarded with clemency or with a pardon or some kind of deal. That's my prediction. Let me know what you think. info@davidpakman.com. People in my audience know I am a bit of a pastry connoisseur. Our sponsor, Wild Grain, is the first Bake from Frozen subscription box for artisanal breads, pastries, and pastas. Wild Grain's boxes are customizable depending on what you like and prefer. They've got their classic variety box. They've launched the new gluten-free box. They have a plant-based box that's 100% vegan. And it just takes the hassle out of baking because all items bake from frozen in 25 minutes or less, nothing to clean up. My experience has been awesome. I love the croissants. I was having people over last week, half an hour before, preheat and throw them in the oven, and people love it. Definitely, the croissants are my favorite. The quality and the freshness of the items is extraordinary, and it is just so convenient. Go to wildgrain.com/Pakman to start your subscription and get $30 off your first box, plus free croissants in every box every month. The link is in the description.